Welcome to Channel 17, the Town of Colonie Government Channel.
Hello and welcome to Focus on Health. I'm your host, Peggy Mello. Today's guests are George Regan and Don Lawrence with the Freihofers Run for Women. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, Peg, nice to be here.
George, why don't we start with you? Do you want to talk about your background?
Yes, thank you. I'm president of USA Track and Field, the Adirondack region. I'm executive vice president. I had been president for 20 years, so it kind of sticks in my head.
I can imagine.
Executive vice president of USA Track and Field. I've been with the sport for 30 years. And one of our largest events, and the event that I've been the event director of, is the Freihofers Run for Women. And I've been the event director for 27 years. The event is currently going into its 30th year on Saturday, May 30th and 31st.
Great. Okay, and Don, do you want to talk about your background?
Sure, my background, Peg. I'm new to the area. I moved here last summer. I'm affiliated with the Fleet Feet Sports Store on Wolf Road and coordinating the Sport Walking, or Walking for Fitness organization here in Colonie.
Okay.
I've been working out or training for the Olympics since about 30 years ago as well.
Excellent. Okay, George, let's talk about the history of the Freihofers Run. Why is this so important for women?
Well, the Freihofers Run for Women started in 1979. The Congress did something very important for women in 1978, and that's called the Sports Act of 78. And basically, that was the Title IX Act that gave women equality in the schools with men's programs. So all women's programs all men's programs, women's had to have the right to have the same program. Mm-hmm. So the year after that, we started the Freihofers Run for Women. Freihofers wanted to, give back to the community and give the women of the community, highlight them. And it was a great event. There were 300 women that participated. It started off as a national championship for the 10-kilometer distance back in '79.
So it was much longer.
Yeah, a lot of grays and whites. Women in sweatsuits, gray sweatsuits and everything. And now when you see them starting, when you see them this Saturday on May 31st, you'll see all the colors of the rainbow. So from an apparel standpoint, the sport's really changed. And I'm sure from a shoe standpoint, the sport has changed. But from women at that time weren't even in the 10,000 meters or the marathon in the Olympic program. Mm-hmm. So I've worked with USA Track and Field. As I said, I'm the executive vice president of the local association, but I also worked on a national level with both women's and men's long distance running to give women a voice to, or put my support behind getting all of the distances in the Olympic program for men the same for women. So both the 10,000 meters and the marathon were added in the 1984 Olympic Games, which you might know, Joan Benoit Samuelson won the inaugural women's Olympic marathon, and she won the gold medal for our country, rah-rah. And she'll be here. She's 50 years old, and she's just ran in her fourth Olympic marathon trials in Boston just several weeks ago.
She's in the Masters category?
She is in the Masters category. She's 50. She not only qualified for running in the Olympic women's Olympic team trials, but she also set a national women's 50 to 54 age group record in Boston, and she'll be coming here trying to set that record as well.
Great.
For 5-kilometer distance here in Albany.
So the run is going to take place Saturday, May 31st, right?
Yes.
Do you want to talk about the course?
Well, yeah, sure. The course has been the same for the last, really since basically, with a few tweaks, has been the same since 1989 when we went from 10K distance to the 5K distance. 5K. And the course starts and finishes at the Empire State Plaza. Mm-hmm. It runs through these beautifully restored 19th century architectural gems that we have lining Madison Avenue and right into a beautiful park, Washington Park, with all the tulips and everything. It exits out of the park on Lake Avenue and runs to Western, from Western to Washington, from Washington to Henry Johnson Boulevard, and then it runs back into the park and it traverses its same steps down to the finish line. So it's a very fast finish. It's a mostly downhill finish. And there's very respectable times on this course. Our course record is held by a woman, a Moroccan woman by the name of Azmeh Legzawi, and she's run a 15:19 here. Or I'm sorry, a 15:17.
So it's
that's
15,
the time to beat.
It's 15 minutes
and 17 seconds.
And how many miles is 5K?
Oh, it's 3.1 miles.
3.1 miles.
Right. So
Oh my gosh.
they're moving along.
And who are the major contenders this year? We
have about 15 countries represented from around the world, and we'll have about 25 states represented. 95% of the women that participate in the Run for Women are from the local community. They're from
Right.
Albany, from the greater Capital District area. So it really is a local event. But it's interesting because of all of the professional and amateur sports, road running is the only sport where the recreational runner can line up and compete with, or at least be in the same event with the best athletes in the sport, the Olympic athletes
they
in the
put
sport.
the best athletes in the front of
Yes,
the pack,
they do.
right?
And the best athletes run very fast, so that's why I say they're not really competing with them, but they are in the same event. And we're the only sport that you can do that with, basketball, hockey, football, tennis, baseball. You never see recreational participants in those sports playing with the big dogs.
Right.
But here, you can do that in the Run for Women. I think that's a very unique part of our sport.
Do you want to talk about the timing aspect? How do you know exactly what the time is for the runners?
Well, we have it clocked. It's gun time. So when the gun goes off, in this case, it's going to be the mayor blowing off an air horn. But when the air horn goes off, we all start our watches, and we synchronize those with an electronic chip timing system at the finish line. So from those watches, which will be started by certified officials, we start the main timing system. And so as each woman crosses the finish line, there's an electronic mat that picks up their time. So it's all done automatically. Computers, aren't they great?
The other thing I can't imagine is figuring out the exact distance. How do you know that it's exactly the distance that you want it to be?
Right. You have to have it certified, and there's a national program, and you have to certify it based on the criteria established for certification. This course is nationally certified. As a matter of fact, this course is internationally certified, so it passes all the regulations, not only for this country, but for and put down by the International Amateur Athletic Federation, which is the governing body for road racing in the world.
Now, what about registration? If anyone's interested in registering, where can they go?
They can go online to Freihofersrun.com. They can pick up an entry form in any of the Price Chopper supermarkets and mail it in, or they can come down on Friday at the start of the Capital Care Health and Fitness Expo, which starts at noon on Friday, May 30th, and they can register from noon to 8 p.m. For the 5K. That's the last chance to register. If they do come down on Friday, I would recommend they come down in the 5 to 8 o'clock slot, because Price Chopper and Sodexo are giving a free pasta party to all participants in the Freihofers Run for Women. So they can have a free dinner on Price Chopper if they come down on Friday, May 30th at 5 o'clock, between 5 and 8.
The other interesting thing is that it's going to be televised, right?
It is. It is. It'll be televised locally on Fox 23, and it'll be televised on Saturday, May 31st at 10:30 after the Fox local news. And then it'll be rebroadcast the following day after the international NASCAR race from the Dover Speedway in New Hampshire. And so whenever that ends, that's going to be on the Variety channel. That's 23.3 on your digital dial. If you're a Time Warner subscriber, that would be channel 423. 423.
So we go from a fast event to another fast event.
Yes, that's right. So that's going to happen on Sunday morning. It'll be rebroadcast. So if you can't catch it Saturday night at 10:30, you could watch it the next morning at sometime around 9:30, whenever the NASCAR race is over with. Yes.
Okay, now the next event, George, that we want to talk about is the Kids Run. Do you want to talk about that?
Sure. Yeah. Really, the Kids Run is 21 years old, and it's probably my favorite event of the whole day. Yeah, and I know the international athletes and all the Olympic and world champions that are coming in, they're all great, but you have never seen the excitement and the pure joy in those children's eyes when they cross that same finish line as these athletes just have, and their moms have just an hour before. So the Kids Run will start on Saturday, May 31st at 10:30, and it goes to 12:30. It lasts for 2 hours, and the ages of the children that can participate are from 3 to 13. It's a free event. It's sponsored, of course, by Freihofers and Price Chopper, and it's open to kids of that age, and they run distances from 50 meters up to the mile, depending on their age. We also do a very interesting program when these Olympic athletes come into town and these world champion athletes come into town. We want to use them to really drive home the message to these kids that good nutrition and regular exercise is the key to healthy living and to an active lifestyle from cradle to grave. So we send them out into the schools. We call it the Athlete School Visitation Program. And this year we're doing 19 schools in and around the capital region.
Great.
We'll be sending Olympians to. Most of these are elementary schools, elementaries and some middle schools. So we want to catch the kids that are young, and we want to encourage them to come out and to participate in this free event called the Freihofers Kids Run.
Mm-hmm. Now, what do the children get for participating?
They get a free T-shirt. They also get a box of Freihofers chocolate chip cookies that their moms may want to monitor because it's a full box. and we have a lot of entertainment and activity for the kids. We've got a kids adventure land that there's going to be a lot of activities. We have a rock climbing wall, and we have face painters, and we have balloon artists and things like that. And the stage is going to be filled with entertainment that the whole family can enjoy. Sino is one of our main national acts that have been brought to us by B95 and other acts that from the community, from the local community, that we'll be showcasing.
It seems like when you look at the schedule of events, it's nonstop Friday and Saturday.
It's very broad, yeah. We're really trying to open this up to the general public. We want more people to come down. It's a great event, and to see it is to believe in it, and to believe in it is to believe that you can get in shape if you want to. All you have to do is keep an eye on what you eat and exercise regularly. It's a very simple message. And, with the Capital Care Health and Fitness Expo starting at noon on Friday, we have all the doctors down there from Capital Care Medical Group that are doing all kinds of health related seminars and checkups. Free body mass index, free cholesterol screening, free blood pressure. So, it really is an event that everybody in the community can take part in, mostly for free. The only event that has an entry fee is the 5K Run for Women.
Okay, Don, you have a race walking background. Do you want to talk about the Racewalk event?
Absolutely. Yeah, the U.S. Championships, the U.S. 10-kilometer championships. Each year we have several, maybe 10 championships around the country. But the 10K is very, very important this year because it is a build-up to the 20 kilometers, which is the men's and women's Olympic distances. Now, the Olympic team will be traveling here. They just competed in Russia, so they'll be making a stop in Albany to walk the Empire State Plaza, which is a certified 1-kilometer loop, and they go 10 times. So this is twice the distance at the 5K. It's 6.2 miles, right? And they'll be traveling at speeds. The men will be 6 minutes and 45 seconds per mile. So they're They're not mall walking, they're out there hustling. They slow down, though, later in the day to help us teach the sport walking, which is what we term at Fleet Feet Sports, and it's about giving opportunity for anyone to come out and walk, kind of a no excuses situation, where the USA Track and Field is promoting running, walking, jumping, throwing, and it's just an activity that some kids may find a niche for. As in myself, I walked in high school from the Western New York region, earned a full scholarship to college for walking. Where my running was subpar, my walking was nationally ranked. So lots of opportunities. Each Thursday evening here in Colonie at the Crossings, actually at the Fleet Feet Sports Store right down the street on Metro Drive, we offer free advice on walking techniques and tips, as well as a fun run every Thursday evening. So it's lots of opportunities to get on the fitness movement to incorporate that healthy lifestyle, which is, and I agree with George, it's a combination of exercise and nutrition. Always has been.
Mm-hmm. Now, how many participants are there going to be in the Racewalk event?
It's interesting you ask that because the elite will be here, the 6 minute, 45 seconds. However, a lot of the other competitors that travel nationwide are in the masters categories as well as the submasters. So there's paces all over the board. So to answer your question, there's probably 100 elite race walkers that will travel in for this event from probably 10 to 12 states.
Mm-hmm. Is there a prize?
Yes, there's cash prizes for the winners, and this is what helps support the Olympic movement. Athletes are, amateurs are allowed to receive prize money, and so this is something that Freihofers very excitedly welcomed me to the team last summer. As I mentioned, I moved to the Albany area, which has just been a wonderful experience for myself. And this is an opportunity, again, for those that are not going to toe the line in a race walk. We tone it down and we do a non-competitive sport walk to help you maximize the efficiency out of the walking movement so that you can get toning, weight management, and just vitality.
Mm-hmm. Is that restricted to just women, or
no,
there are going to be
all.
men and women competing in both of them, right?
It's a great question. Obviously, this is the Freihofers Run for women. It's a walk for everyone. So it's a joint men and women's national championship. The sport walk is open to anyone as well. I look at it as the active participants workout program. It's an event for literally anyone. There's a $10 registration fee for the sport walk, which includes the clinic, and then also the opportunity to walk and be monitored and actually walk with Olympians as well around the 1K course.
Wow. So what's going to happen to the winner of the national championships? Will they be in the Olympics? Is there an Olympic event?
It is. There's an opportunity to actually qualify for the Olympic trials if they hadn't produced the time. They have that option. As I said, it's a 20 kilometers, so they have to actually keep going, which is kind of interesting and something that not many will do. But to answer your question, the Racewalk Championship will be, I guess, a notch in their belt, but they're trying for the Olympics at the Olympic Trials in Eugene, Oregon, which is just a month away. But as a former Olympic Trials competitor, you need these events to sharpen up and get ready for the big day.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's very exciting.
It is.
Okay, George, do you want to talk about, you've talked a little bit about the Capital Care Health Expo. Do you just want to go into a little bit more detail about it?
Yeah, this year we're trying to not only take the all of the medical side of this. We have Capital Care down there with all of their doctors, and they'll be doing health screenings, as I had mentioned, blood pressure, body mass index, cholesterol screening, and things of that nature. But also, we're doing what we call a taste of the region. We have some of the best chefs from around the region that are coming down, and they're going to be showing off what they do, and you'll be able to taste some of their creations. The different drummers' kitchens will be there to show you the latest cookware and things to prepare those fresh foods in there. Price Chopper will be there with all their fresh and organic foods to show you the foods that you should buy and you should be cooking with, that have the most nutrients you can get out of a food.
So there's an emphasis on healthy eating and nutrition,
That's
right?
correct, yeah. So we're going to be doing all that. And that's going to, a lot of that's going to happen on Friday, too. The Taste of the Region tent, which is the tent that's going to hold the pasta party from 5 to 8, will also be holding, all of the chefs will be up in that tent as well. And they'll be cooking different, different cooking demonstrations from that tent. And they'll be doing that right from starting at 3 o'clock on Friday, right through the 8 o'clock hour, and then they'll be back at 8 in the morning, and they'll be going right through until 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And that tent is going to be out on the plaza level. The Racewalk course is going to go right by that tent, and the community walk registers up in that area. So just look for the big 120-foot tent up on the plaza. Of course, we'll have signs up too, but yeah, but the Taste of the Region is a significant new event that we've added this year to the Freihofers Festival of Events. And then, you know, there are other activities associated with this. We're doing a talent contest. We're looking for the best act out there in the Capital Region. And we have prizes for that. First place is a $1,000 prize. And then we got Cotton Hill Studios are going to give them several hours in their recording studios to cut a demo. And so there's 5 different prizes associated with that. And right now, you can put an application in, go to the Fox 23 website, and they'll have an application for this.
And that's called Spirit on the Course?
Spirit on the Course, and we're going to pick the 5 most spirited acts that we come through. Right now, there's 50 to 60 acts that have signed up for this, and they will win prizes. The top 5 win prizes, and they get to perform during the Freihofers Run for Women.
Is it a vocal competition, or
it
can
is.
people
Mostly,
do anything?
Right now, we have mostly vocals and bands. We have some skateboarding. We have a big skateboarding exhibition, and you know, some cheerleading squads, but mostly it's music right now, yes.
So it's kind of like American Idol, but without the calls.
Exactly, exactly. And
Great.
So yeah, and these activities are going to go out, rain or shine, hopefully shine, on the outdoor plaza and on the concourse level of the plaza, starting the May 30th, Friday, May 30th at noon, noon till 8 p.m. and then once again Saturday starting at 8 a.m. In this case, the National Racewalk Junior and Senior Championships start at 7:45.
Right now.
So the day starts early, but that's good. We want you to come down, and we want you to enjoy it and spend the whole day with us. A lot of activities for the entire community.
Now, the other thing that I haven't asked you about yet is the community walk. There's yet another thing going on.
Yeah, Community Walk is great. This is its 20th anniversary. Since the inception of the Community Walk in 1989, I got that, see, I can add fast. It raises, or has raised, over $1 million for local nonprofits. It's basically a fundraiser for local nonprofits. It's a great event, and it's an event that we wanted to, a lot of recreational walkers in it. This was another reason we wanted to bring the Racewalk in here and the sports walk, so we could make a connection between walking for charity or recreational walking and bringing it up, as Don said, a notch to, you know, walking for vitality, and then showing everybody, well, what is a race walk? How does that work? I mean, I'm sure everybody's heard about it because it is an Olympic distance, an Olympic sport, but what does it mean and how is it done, you know? So I think that aspect is very interesting and exciting. And one thing that I've learned from Don is that to race walk, you really can't, there has to be a foot on the ground at all times, and you can't bend your knee. And if you do that, well, then you're disqualified. So I never knew that. So I've been practicing
So it's hips,
myself.
basically.
It's hips, right. You're swiveling those hips, you know. So it's a lot of fun. And that's the connection between the community walks and all these great charities. Right now, this year, we'll have 60 great charities, and they're all local, and that will be represented in the community walk, and we hope to raise over $100,000.
Now,
this
is
year.
it the same distance as the Freihofers Run for Women?
You know, we walk for, what is it, an hour and a half? We walk for an hour and a half, and we're going to walk around Lincoln Park. So we start the same place as the Run for Women on Madison Avenue at the Empire State Plaza. We'll walk up to Swan Street, take a left, go over to Lincoln Park via Swan, and we'll walk around the park until the walkers decide they've walked enough, and then they come back to the Empire State Plaza, and we have refreshments provided by Price Chopper and Freihofers for them to partake in.
Okay.
And come back to the rest of the entertainment.
So the community walkers get sponsors, and then the money goes to the charities?
The
Is
local
that how
charities,
it works?
yes, that's correct.
The charity of their choice.
Of their
You know,
choice.
so they show up and they have 30 tables or 60 tables.
60,
I guess.
yeah.
Correct.
There's 60 charities. So Don's right. It is the charity of their choice, but they have to be signed up and on the list.
Correct.
But they have 60 local nonprofits to choose from, you know, from community caregivers to Vander Heyden to Ronald McDonald House to the Albany
Visiting nurses?
Visiting Nurses Association, Northeast Association for the Blind, Albany Medical Center, Cancer Research for Children, Children's Hospital. You know, the list goes on. It's a huge list. So, and you can find that right on our website, freihofersrun.com/community walk.
So I'm assuming they can register at freihofersrun.com
They can
or Price
for the
Chopper?
community walk or Price Chopper. Yep, the community walk applications are in the Price Chopper stores.
Okay.
And it's free. It's another free event. We're trying to encourage people to come out. And we're also encouraging some of the Olympians that are going to be here walking in the Junior National and the Senior National Racewalk 10K Championship to go and to participate in the community walk and to adopt a charity. That should get additional publicity out for the charities that are involved in the community walk this year. And hopefully we'll reach our goal of $100,000+ for these local charities.
That's great, because
Yeah.
you earn, what's the average amount per year? Is it like 75,000 or so?
It's between 60 and 75,000 is about average, but we think we'll do a little bit better this year. It's a 20th anniversary. Usually in the anniversary years we do a little bit better. We've gotten the information out. We had a meeting with the not-for-profits down at our new host hotel, 74 State Street, which Gary Smith, the new general manager there, was gracious enough to give us a room to hold the meeting in and to feed all our nonprofits. So we had a big meeting down there, and everybody took their pledge cards and their posters, and they're all over the city, you know. So we've got the word out pretty early this year.
And it's not too late to register because they can register the day before the event, right?
They can register on the day of the
On
event
the
for
day
the
of the
community
event, too.
walk, yeah. And for the kids run, they can register on the day of the event. It's only the 5K that they have to register the day before. We don't have any race day registration for the 5K just because there's 4,000 women participating and it's all electronic timed, and we have over 100 awards that we have to determine. So it's hard for us to do race day registration for an event like the 5K women's race. But all the other events you can sign up the day of the event.
I would imagine the complicating thing is getting the chip to everybody, right?
That's correct.
And how do you get it back?
Well, we take it back from them at the finish line, and you know, and we put them in storage buckets. But you know, we have to take that and we have to assign a bib number to that, and then we have to assign an athlete's name or to it, and then it has to go in a little packet, and their name and bib number and age and sex have to go on that. Well, in this case, it's only women, it's only female, but they have to go on that packet. You know, so yeah, we have to keep those all in order by bib number. So it's a complicated process, and it really can't be done an hour or two before the event. So we have to
I'm
cut it.
imagining if 10 people finish at once.
No problem.
Do you have 10 people that run after all 10 of them and grab them?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah,
That's where the volunteers are.
Yes, we have over 600 volunteers that will be working and participating and helping us orchestrate the 30th annual Freihofers Run for Women.
Okay, and at this point, you can't sign up to be a volunteer the day before the event or the day of, right? It's already too late?
No, it's too late. Yeah, because we have to put you in and train you, put you in your position, and
Okay.
it takes time.
So let's just do a summary of everything. I know it's complicated. We'll start the dates.
Well, right. The Capital Care Health and Fitness Expo starts Friday, May 30th at 12 noon at the Empire State Plaza, concourse level, plaza level. That runs to 8 p.m. that evening. In conjunction with that, we have a pasta party that starts at 5, open to all participants in the event. The next day we have the 7:45 a.m. start of the National 10K Racewalk Championship, followed by the 5-kilometer, 3.1 mile Freihofers Run for Women. That's at 9:15, and that's followed at 10:30 by the 21st annual Kids Run from kids between the ages of 3 and 13. We'll do distances from 50 meters to a mile. That's followed by a race walk, or what they call a sports walk clinic, that will give recreational walkers some insight into how to have a more efficient stride. That starts at
11:30.
11:30, and that goes for half an hour?
Roughly, that's correct.
11:30
That's on the
to
concourse
12.
level.
And then we have a 2K try it, so after they've gotten their training, or they're going through their clinic, they can now go out on the National Racewalk course, and for 2 kilometers they can try their new, and what time does that start?
12:15.
12:15 for the 2K try it, a sports walk. And then, of course, at 1 p.m., the 20th annual Freihofers Community Walk to raise money for some 60 area not-for-profits, and hopefully we'll hit that $100,000 number this year. And then activities, like I said, I had spoke earlier, we have the kids adventure area, we have a silent auction going on, which I haven't told you about, and these prizes have been donated from merchants and from organizations all over the capital region. Great shows and everything from Live Nation have given us passes and backstage passes, and to a lot of the SPAC events, and they're all going to be able, you're going to be able to bid for those, and they're at about 60% of value right now. So, you know, if you hit it right and they don't get bid up, you can really get, you know, dinner for 4 at, you know, one of Angelo Mazzone's restaurant, maybe, you know, 677 Prime, or wherever. He has several others.
Right.
So yeah, so the silent auction is going to take place all day Saturday, and entertainment from Donna Lewis and C-Note, a national act, and all of those are winners of the Talent on the Course competition that will be playing until 5 p.m. on Saturday. And then we have a volunteer party for all those great volunteers that have supported us and helped us out. That's going to be at the Egg, the Hart Theater, and that's going to start at 6 and go until 8. And don't forget to watch the show
Right.
on Fox 23 at 10:30 that evening, following the Fox Evening News. And if you miss it then, if you're tired and you've fallen asleep, because a lot of these volunteers they've worked all day.
They've worked all
They want to
day.
go home and go to bed. The next morning at 9:30, you can watch it following the NASCAR race from Dover International Speedway.
That's on the Times Warner station.
Time Warner station, that's the station 423 on the Time Warner cable station, or on your digital dial 23.3, the Variety channel.
Okay. And in
And
case
that's about it.
in case anyone needs to catch any of the other information, most of it's online, right?
All of it's
Website?
online, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Go to FreiHofersRun.com, and everything is there, from, you know, the community walk, kids run, Capital Care Health and Fitness Expo, the junior national and senior national 10K Racewalk Championship. All of it's there.
Okay. Well, I wish you guys a lot of luck.
Thank
I
you.
hope that the weather cooperates, because that's very important
Me
too,
too.
isn't it?
Yes, that's the most important.
Thanks very much for coming in.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thanks for watching. We hope to see you next time on Focus on Health.
Welcome to Channel 17, the Town of Colonie Government Channel.